Well, the Supreme Court ruling that just came out in the last few hours is really bad news for gun owners. You see, all previous rulings by the Supreme Court had clearly stated that it was an absolute right to self-defense, and we had the common law, and we have the state laws that you could openly carry, you could conceal carry, you could have firearms in your vehicle. And then Chicago, New York, other mob boss crime systems, big city crime systems, banned their quarry, banned the prey that live there from owning firearms to defend themselves. The wolves said, we want sheep that are very easy to basically devour. We don't want men that can fight back against us. And we don't want sheepdogs in our community who've got teeth as well. So what we want is disarmed slaves. And I heard the Violence Policy Center head on a radio show this morning on CBS News. And I was watching some television this morning as well, and they had the Brady campaign on. And they were reading the subsections by Alito and others with Republicans like this. Who needs Bill Clinton? Who needs Al Gore? Who needs the crazed sex poodle, as he's now known in the media? Who needs them? And I've got his quotes here, noting that cities can engage in whatever Second Amendment restrictions they wish, as well as states, up and to banning firearms anywhere but in your home, registered and locked up. And they can restrict the type of firearms. You can basically have maybe a .22 caliber single shot rifle that's locked up with a biometric key access system. I mean, that's basically what the feds are pushing for. So, yes, if you can jump through 100 flaming hoops, dance on the head of a pin, and then dance underneath a blue moon and frolic with leprechauns, Easter bunnies, and unicorns, then maybe if the local sheriff says okay, like in New York City, then maybe you can have a firearm if you're a Goldman Sachs executive that's ripped off a bunch of people and now needs one to protect themselves from all the families they ruined. As Bloomberg reported a few months ago, Goldman Sachs high-level employees are all being instantly given firearms permits. Oh, you're mafia? Oh, you rob people? Oh, you're like us? Sure, City of New York says here's guns for you, but not for all the regular slaves. So that's how they operate. So I thought I'd go over this. Justices extend gun owner rights nationwide. Oh, they extend. They give it to us. And so basically what they're doing is saying, look, these lower courts have said there's an absolute ban on it. And no, we're saying that if you can find the magic pass through the mountains, if you can scale Mount Everest with your arms tied behind your back and with your legs chopped off, then you may be able to get a firearm. Again, if you can scale Mount Everest with your arms tied behind your back and your legs chopped off, or if you're a Goldman Sachs executive. So this is how they spin things. Justices extend gun owner rights nationwide. The court was split along familiar ideological lines, with 5 conservative, moderate justices in favor of gun rights and 4 liberals opposed. Elena Kagan's for an outright ban on the Second Amendment, and she says make speech the government doesn't like disappear, if it's for the greater good, of course. And she'll decide the good with that huge camel hump hanging beneath her neck. But they've prettied her up, though. They've put some little earrings on her and a necklace and some makeup. Makes her look more nightmarish. Looks like John Wayne Gacy dressed up in his clown outfit. The John Wayne look-alike, John Wayne Gacy look-alike, that is, Elena Kagan is up for her confirmation hearings today. I could see her being confirmed to something like the North Korean court. I could see her being confirmed if we could put her in a time machine to one of Joe Stalin's courts. But to the United States Supreme Court, well, yes, times are a-changing. And the way the corporate spin doctors work is they have a Supreme Court rule that lower courts cannot 100% bar citizens from owning firearms. But in the words of Justice Alito, limits by no means or eliminates their ability to devise solutions to social problems that suit local needs and values. So that's democracy. If your local town or your state wants to completely ban your right to own guns, and that's what the ruling states clearly, then your Second Amendment goes bye-bye in a big way. And that's what the Violence Policy Center is saying. That's what the Brady campaign to disarm the slaves campaign is saying as well. So we're going to be covering that today. Again, senators are signaling contentious hearing on Supreme Court nominee, but Republicans are saying they do intend to not put up a fight blocking her confirmation, but are going to raise issues concerning the Second Amendment and the First Amendment, because on both fronts, she has said that she believes they can basically be restricted down to nothing. And I think she'll fit nicely on the court because you've already had 4 of the supposed liberals narrowly being beaten by the 5 so-called conservatives. And imagine 4 of the Supreme Court justices ruled in the case that was announced today, but they ruled months ago, that they would completely ban all guns in America. They argued, as the Attorney General argued, as Elena Kagan has argued, as Janet the Butcher Waco Reno argued, as Barack Obama as a state senator and a federal senator argued, as Rahm Emanuel has argued, for the complete and total ban on firearms for civilians. That's code for blood bags. The government's the vampires. We are seen as a Big Mac and fries. We are seen as their food. Government's food. This is how it works in most other nations. We are slaves to them, and slaves are not armed worldwide. People aren't armed in North Korea. That's an instant death sentence. People weren't armed in Stalin's era. They weren't armed under Mao Zedong or in China today. It's very simple, very elementary. And so now they're teaching police nationwide with the last federal ruling a year ago and now this ruling. Yes, you can have a gun in very rare, limited situations when we give it to you as a privilege. If you're a good little local government criminal who's retired or a Goldman Sachs executive, you can have a boom boom. And, of course, then you've got all the money for your own private security who gets special licenses. We see this now where private security is used at the G20 in Pittsburgh, used in Toronto. They're armed. They're grabbing citizens off the streets. All these mercenaries can do whatever they want. The Pentagon announces they'll kill U.S. citizens whenever they want inside the United States or anywhere else for that matter. But you don't have a right to defend yourself. You're meant to crawl into a ditch and die after you're done being bled by Big Daddy government. Speaking of Big Daddy, I heard a reporter on the radio this morning on the local news quoting Senator Byrd of West Virginia as Big Daddy, as he was known in West Virginia, for bringing money into the state. Yeah, government's done real good for West Virginia, one of the poorest in the nation. Big Daddy, anti-gun, anti-sovereignty, former member of the Ku Klux Klan. But he was against NAFTA and GATT. I mean, blind hogs are occasionally do find acorns. Broken clocks are right twice a day. But he's died, of course, the longest-serving senator for over half a century. He died early this morning. And that is throwing a wrench in the financial reform bill, which even the Washington Post admits allows the Federal Reserve unlimited power to seize any financial institution they wish and feed it into their criminal combine.